someone to assist with our routine professionally and allow us to devote our time to communicating with our closest people. If only we could get results without wasting our time for nothing. Unfortunately, it's impossible in real life. But wait, Liteforex social trading. Spend your time doing what really matters to you.
Hi guys, 20th of September 2019, 2:15 p.m. CET, 1:15 London. Piotr here, meaning this is the New York Open live market coverage only here, Liteforex Global YouTube channel. It's my pleasure to be back and be here with you guys, especially after our morning meeting where we, for example, discussed possibility to try to short the pound. It turned out as a trade of the day, looks like, at least for now. Anyway, before we start, guys, let's have this quick risk warning. Please bear in mind, trading FX and margin carries a high level of risk, may not be suitable for investors. You can sustain a loss of some or all initial investments, so please do not invest the money you cannot afford to lose. Seek education and experience before risking real money. However, past performance doesn't guarantee future results. All right. As you can see here, I'm sitting short on the cable, took partial profit. Some remind here, we will see if we can get even lower ahead of the end of the week, but I'm not going to focus on the pound. Been discussed this morning properly, turned out to be trade of the day, so nice. What I'm going to look for instead is pound Canadian dollar ahead of the Canadian data. All right, so let's switch to GBPCAD here. 1 second, let me try to find this pound CAD. Jeez. Just 1 second. Just 1 second, guys. Yes, finally, I'm sorry. And here I'm going to focus on euro pound as usual. So euro dollar, euro pound, USD CAD, pound CAD, that's what I'm gonna to focus on during this afternoon meeting. So we are awaiting Canadian data within the next 10 minutes or so. I would say besides the pound, yeah, very usual and normal European session. Also euro dollar being discussed, but here, as you can see, the max what we hit was close to 1070, right? Nothing extraordinary. We took out Tokyo high. Unfortunately, we were not able to retest even weekly open, not saying about 11. Remember, there was a plan to try to short the eventual rallies, but it didn't materialize, right? Looks like we are going back. Don't forget about the big expiration around 110, and looks like that was one of the point of our plan, trying to short it around 111 and looking for this move back down towards this big chunk expired around 110, right? So that's what we discussed. Hi Kainat, how you doing? Hi Dixo, good to see you guys. So that's what we discussed this morning. Euro dollar unfortunately didn't materialize. Now I like this euro pound chart, especially from the higher time frame perspective, as we are trying to react right now where there was one of the latest place where we've seen the weakness. I'm talking about I'm talking about here, right? I'm talking about the mid-February 2019 over here, right? So I do have this line, and looks like we reacted right here, right now. Let me show you. I'm sorry. Let me show you what I'm talking about clearly. So for you to have a possibility to find out next time, maybe even without me, right? So this combination here, right? Those 3 days, and from here we were like falling, right? Reaching some first low, then there was some kind of the consolidation and huge euro pound rally, right? To be honest with you, I think that you know, we might see attempt to rally again, something similar to what we've seen yesterday. We might even see some a little bit higher levels, but overall, because of what we have here, right? I think that the levels related to that consolidation ahead of the break, the low here, right, which might represent something close to 50% of that box. So let's place the line. Something around 86 is even possible here, right? Cannot be ruled out. Cannot be ruled out, especially taking into the consideration how we are falling here, right? But the truth is that latest pound strength was based on some kind on the Sky interview, but looks like we got some comments out of the context. The full interview with Janker is gonna to be published by Sky 7:30 on Sunday. So that's one of the reasons I mentioned this morning. It's not good. It's not good to try to stay the pound overnight. But I'm going to hold the remaining towards the end of the day, or once the stop profit is going to be hit eventually. Anyway, euro pound here. From the intraday perspective, the reaction, I like the reaction, right? From that green line, especially that we took out the stops from that consolidation here. That's so nice, right? So market found the liquidity. That's for sure, right? We took out some stops. Okay, as you can see, we took out some stops. That's good, trying to recover. Of course, yesterday upper shadow, and of course the whole week, it's, you know, looks horrible from the bulls perspective. But anyway, some kind of the consolidation here might be possible. So what I'm going to look for is either to watch what's going to happen around yesterday open, especially from the intraday perspective right here, right now. That might be selling opportunity eventually. If we are going to go some 1 to 1, how deep can we move, right? And here is the possibility. It's not a big distance, but from the intraday perspective, look, that looks good. This possible demand, correct place, 1 to 1. We are talking about something like 40-50 pips. So that's what I'm gonna to focus on during the New York session. And of course, 5 minutes towards the Canadian data. So in case of the stronger Canadian dollar, I'm going to look for the opportunity to sell, as you can see, to sell pound Canadian dollar. All right. That's the daily chart. We've moved back towards the weekly open, and the weekly open is 64.80. 64.80, somewhere here. All right. And that's reacting. That's supply. It's similar to what we have. It's very similar to what we have on the pound USD on the cable, right? Very, very similar. So let's switch, and it's a daily, so green color. All right, and we're trying to react. That's the whole, sorry, that's the whole supply over here, which we are trying to reject. Anyway, let's switch lower here. From that perspective, we are testing some kind of the demand. So of course, I'm not in rush to try to trade it right here, right now. A little bit of the rally would be good here. All right, where I would like to see them rally. The latest strength, and where we have the latest strength. The latest strength is somewhere here, and to be frank, we didn't test it yet. 66.15 might be the level for me to watch from the short perspective. In case of the weaker Canadian dollar, of course, I'm going to go I will try to go with the greenback with US dollar. All right. $66.15. And in that case, move back, so something like this in here, right? We will see if that's going to be the case. And that's the weekly open and some kind of the demand right under. USDCAD trying to recover. That's gonna be the challenge around this level. That's gonna be the challenge around this level. But in case bulls are gonna be able to close the week above, that's gonna be big development here. On the other hand, we do have weekly demand somewhere here. So that's where we started last week and trying to continue this week. So some kind of the range. Based on the charts only, looks like the Canadian might be stronger. No, it's not the sell limit. Kainat, no, we are waiting for a data and for the market behavior. I'm not gonna do anything ahead of the data. So no. There is no any kind of the limit order, at least for now. So yesterday pullback, falling day might be treated as a pullback, and eventually we might see some kind of the rally here. So let's have a look what we have. 10 seconds. So good luck, guys. Of course, I'm going to tell you what I'm doing and why I'm doing stuff like this. But let's have a look what we are going to get, what kind of the data we have. Looks like Canadian is weaker right now. So we are trying to take out this supply visible over here. Yesterday entry. President Trump is very active right now. Weaker than what market was expecting. I'm going to place for you in the chat. .4 versus 0.6 expectations, but better than prior or zero, right? X autos minus 0.1, 0.3 expectations, but much worse than what we get last time. So I'm not surprised we see the weakness, meaning that we are very close on the Canadian dollar towards the levels over here. That might be interesting from that perspective. Let's switch to 15-minute chart. So this yesterday high, same what we discussed with cable earlier today. It might be very similar situation. Just the retest. USDCAD. Market is trying to reject. We have some kind of the consolidation lately going on. The good thing is that bottom of that consolidation is well around latest weakness, right? The levels we seen creating the bottom, right? And then rally back, pull back, and trying to hold this 30 to 30. Is there any help from the oil market? Looks like oil just hit the stops because of course of the event. We had strong rejection, and this 59.60, I've been trying to trade that one, been stopped. It was very tiny position because I knew that what is going on. But anyway, looks like they made same in size move what we had before. If there is no support from the oil market towards the end of the week, so Canadian might be much weaker. So USDCAD, that's what we are looking at and watching. This upper shadow here, so what is going on? So what we broke, okay, we broke, that was the supply, and supply is taken out, as you can see. What we broke this swing high, which has been broken, right? Look, short term, that was the swing high, right? That was the, well, sorry, that was the swing high here, and it's level where we saw reaction quite a few times, right? Then here we broke through that level. So let's have a look if we can hold that level, and that would be some kind of the maybe buying opportunity, short-term buying opportunity. That also level related to the daily open, right? That's also something close to 78. Let's have a look what we have. 78. Below 61, between 61 and 78, and without the shadows. 61. So let's see if you can hold that. In the meantime, while we are waiting for the Canadian dollar, let's have a look what we have on the euro dollar. Here is nothing to try to chase it. That's my supply. After we broke through, that's my supply. Quiet didn't hit after the breakdown. as you can see. So maybe some rally back towards right now. We have a stops above 55 for sure, so some kind of the rally back, and that might be the combination of the, for example, trying to push euro pound higher, so combination of higher euro dollar, lower cable. We'll see. And as discussed this morning, you know, we couldn't get through weekly open and Monday high for the whole week, right? So try to answer yourself. Of course, never say never, but if there was some guys who were buying yesterday, day before, Tuesday, thinking that we might see the breakthrough the weekly open, right? And simply they were not able to push through that level. So what do you think? What they are gonna to do towards the end of the week? You know, I'm not talking about some kind of the events, because I don't know, at 7 p.m. we can have Powell saying, okay, I'm gonna cut another 50 basis points, and then of course we are going to break through that level. But what I'm trying to tell you, that we have to try to imagine ourselves that, you know, if you were trying to buying whole week, right? So you put a lot of efforts, right? And then towards the end of the week you are still below, then what are you going to do? We're going to cut whatever you have. So we might see at some point over the course of the day, especially after the Europe close, we might see some pressure on euro and a little bit stronger dollar, because dollar has to hold some levels. We discussed based on the dollar index chart, right? So there's quite a good fight might be in place after the Europe close. Dixo USDCAD looks like retracement to 61.8. It might drop hard. 60.8. Let's have a look what we are talking about. Are you talking, guys, about this latest? Yeah, you are talking about this latest wave to the downside. I got your point, guys. I got your point. But as of now, as long as we are above what I've been talking about, the bottom of this consolidation, especially after this breakout, I'm still looking to buy, but looks like I may not be able, as they are trying to rally. So I've got a little bit opposite view this time, but that's why we are here, right? To try to exchange the views. So for now, yeah. The thing is that we are breaking yesterday open. That's positive thing. In terms of high and low, agree with you for now. But what I'm trying to do is pure based trade the news approach. But looks like they are not gonna to give me that chance, at least for now. The case could be this trend line as well. But that's the liquidity pool, guys. That's the liquidity pool, and that's the supply. In case you are looking for some opportunity to try to go short, right? So that's this supply based on the weekly right here. So a little bit higher, and this the blue line, and that's the intraday in my opinion. That's the intraday one. Haven't been tested yet. So in that case, you are looking for, I don't know, for something around 33, 15, 20. So some stops, 33, option expiration maybe. In that case. But look at the cable, look at the euro. So I would rather try. I'm not saying I'm going to do that, but I think it's smart to make the investigation based on the current dollar price action, overall dollar price action. I'm not sure if you are Canadian dollar fan. Maybe better via cable. Maybe do your own research as usual, guys. Because I'm doing the mistakes as well. Unfortunately, it's not that I do have a crystal ball. I don't. I regret, but so maybe via, but quiet didn't hit the supply. I mean the big supply they hit. They didn't hit exact level around 50, right? It was 15. Yeah, 66, 15. They hit 66, rejection. And at the same time, Euro Pound is testing supply, but without the one-to-one. So there is no reason to try to sell it here. There was no pullback. So it looks like the rally is even bigger here. So we might see some kind of... Now, I think I have to make a little bit of the update here, because... But let's wait a few more minutes. If we can penetrate and move a little bit higher here, then we might switch, and then the buying opportunity is going to be where the latest weakness been seen, the over under. So it not yet, but for you, if we cross the upper yellow range, then the pullback towards 88.20, 520 might be the case. Now when trying to compare 15-minute charts, USDCAD is doing well. Cable, it's almost gave up all the gain post Canadian data. But it's of course our own choices, guys, as usual. Even dollar Chinese yuan trying to get back, guys. That's what we discussed this morning. Yeah, I've been talking that I didn't like the yesterday this tiny shadow, but right now we are trying to build a lower shadow. Because of the nice action going on the crypto side, probably either later today or tomorrow during the day, I'm going to make the live stream in regards to the Bitcoin versus US dollar, as well as Ethereum versus US dollar, some crypto discussion. So subscribe to the channel, and once the stream is scheduled, then you are going to get the information. You have to click the bell as well, probably. There was a little bit of the stop counts on the dollar yen, but they didn't quite reach my level, right? We were talking in the zone between 107.50, 107.25 this morning as a buying opportunity. They just hit yesterday low with quick reverse, and that was it. That's where they found the liquidity. I've been talking about 107.50 close to the weekly open this morning, right? And then 107.25, the yellow box here, didn't materialize, at least didn't materialize yet. But the idea is off ahead of the weekend. So now let's try to, because I think they already settled the news. So let's watch this the Canadian dollar here. I still think that here is a liquidity, and probably we are going to hit that levels. But in case of, we'll see where we are at the top of the hour. But it might be from the, if you like short setups, it might be that it's gonna be second. If the next 15 minutes is gonna be third lower shadow, third lower high, sorry, done by upper shadow, well, we will see. We'll see. And one more time, guys. I don't know details. Of course, I'm pretty sure there are some guys who knows what's going to be with this Janker interview. So if you are trading pound with any currency, be careful. Again, just a reminder. The interview with Janker been already recorded by Sky, but it's gonna to be published on Sunday, right? We get some info out of the context, most probably. That's why we've seen this cable spike, for example, yesterday towards 25.70.26. So you don't wanna be caught with the gap against your position Sunday open. Going watch oil later today. in case of either hitting Wednesday high or doing something like this, hitting the high, yesterday high, looking for liquidity and going higher. So, but after US cash open only. Some intraday, and that would, from the intraday perspective, that would correlate either with this high here, right? Or if we are going to, there is an untested supply on intraday chart. If we are going to make the measure moving higher, so the top of that range is hitting that supply with tight stop above the high of this pullback, right? In that case, in case we are turning around here, so the stop is going to be above yesterday high. But yesterday high is a obvious liquidity pool, right? Especially that we didn't break this level here. Based on the early close, we didn't, as you can see. We were trying via shadows, but we didn't quite close below, right? So I would rather go for this second one option, around the round 60 number. And with gold, I have no idea. Okay, we have some rejection around the supply on the euro pound, so let's try to check if we have to update something. So that was the move to the downside based on the entry. So if that's the case, how low can we go? Yes, this level might be tested, 88. So the yellow, so it might be a little bit more to the upside, a little bit more to the downside for now. But they didn't quite clean that supply. So it's working in favor of the sellers right now. But that's also, guys, that also explains what we discussed a bit earlier about those euro dollar buyers, right? That they didn't manage to go above weekly open for a whole week. So it might put overall pressure on euro. So cable right now is trying to bounce based on the weekly open, and in case we are not gonna to see any action right now, right here within the next few minutes, I'm gonna to put off all the trading ideas and just monitoring the cable from this morning after our meeting. Don't forget about our possible crypto live stream, but also don't forget on Monday meeting we do have two, 8 a.m. CET or 7 a.m. London. We are going to cover pre-London Open, and then for 1 hour 15 minutes later we are going to cover European PMI live as well here on Liteforex Global YouTube channel. It looks like the daily open on the Canadian dollar is a key. So in case you are going to trade the failure, right, just the stop count rejections short, then levels around the daily open is gonna be the key, and probably target ahead of the weekend. Sorry. Let's have a look what we have from the news perspective. Nothing extraordinary. There was some time ago, that might be behind the latest pound drop. Financial Times: Irish government wants border question resolved before Britain leaves the EU. It looks like Johnson said to his colleagues he does not expect to be able to reach a full legally operable deal covering Irish border at the crunch meeting of EU leaders on October 17-18. Quiet didn't manage these longs. I've been talking about pure based on the news. I'm talking about the USDCAD. So news trade is off right now as an idea, but even based on the higher time frame, I would like to see Market is cleaning yesterday day high, day before high, and rejecting. That would be some kind of that might be some kind of the short setup. After the rejection, after the failure. So nothing here for me. Euro dollar, in case of, I don't know, some London fix related rally towards 55. Nothing for me here as well. So I'm going to manage my cable short from this morning. Nothing extraordinary. Going on, there is an oil trying to go higher. That's the first line of the defense for the sellers from the intraday perspective. And somewhere here we have the second one based on our measure we did before. And I'm more interested on this higher level, not the lower, the higher. It's Friday, guys. If you were doing okay over the course of the week, so maybe it's time to, you know, to start to think about the weekend earlier today. If you unfortunately didn't do well, believe me, you are not going to recover late Friday, because you have to fight with the big guys from the big banks, especially after European Open. So, you know, I would be very, very careful. So that's it from me today. Either later today or probably tomorrow, I'm going to prepare some short live stream in relation to the crypto market. Then again, Monday, we have 2 meetings, pre-London Open, and then we are going to cover European PMI live. It was my pleasure to be back after a few days off. A little bit of the warmer this morning and this afternoon. I'm gonna to fully recharge the batteries over the weekend and be ready next week. And I promise you, market will be open. Guys, have a great weekend. Recharge your battery. See you next week. Take care and goodbye.